There's been a lot of ups and downs recently in the Korean stock market. And I've been getting a lot of news and reading a lot of news on how the Korean stock market is getting out of control recently. And some call this the early symptoms of an AI renaissance, and others call it the AI bubble that would eventually burst anytime soon. And after a record drop of 34% this July, the Korean stock market rebounded and bounced back up to 18% in a single day. Just today, 18%, right? And that is a record-breaking one-day jump in Korean stock market history. And this gets you thinking, is this really good news? Or are we seeing premonitions of something bad happening, right? And I'm not a big investor nor an economy-savvy person in the business world, right? I never have been. But the numbers that I'm seeing are noticeably abnormal, even for a guy who's not interested in this kind of stuff. And here's the thing. If there are extreme highs, there must be extreme lows, right? You don't really have to be a genius to know that, because everything in life follows the same pattern. The higher the climb, the harder the fall. And this concept pretty much applies to everything that happens in life, right? So for example, there's a reason why people prefer natural ways of muscle growth as opposed to injecting steroids, even if natural ways take a longer time. Because growing your muscles unnaturally in a short amount of time can create a lot of unwanted side effects and probably deteriorate your health in the long term. And I don't really know how old you guys are watching this, but what we're seeing right now in Korea is actually history being repeated. And I'm not that old, and I've never really lived through the 80s. So this is not first-hand experience, but I'll try to tell you what happened based on what I know and what I've read. So before the year of 1990, Japan was living in a golden era in the 80s. So they were one of the leading economic giants in the world. So Japanese companies like Sony, Nintendo, Toyota, Honda, they were raking in so much money at the time. So their economy was just booming. Money was good, life was good, everything was good. Much like how Korea is enjoying its golden era today, right? So back then, 7 out of 10 companies that were considered to be the richest in the world were in Japan. 7 out of 10 companies in the world, right? They were in Japan. And that's how dominant they were in the 80s. Now, I've never personally used these before, but just like how everyone is using an iPhone these days, people were carrying around Sony Walkmans and playing Nintendo NES in their homes in the 1980s. And Walkman is kind of like the first portable music player, and NES is a game console. So, they were making a lot of amazing tech gadgets and making people happy around the world. But in 1990, this is what happened. The Japanese stock market crashed. The economy bubble burst, and nearly $1 trillion were lost in value during that time, and asset prices plummeted. So after that, series of chain reactions occurred, right? The job market froze. Millions of young people couldn't get a stable job. So they were forced into low-paying part-time jobs and other temporary jobs. So if you summarize all of this in Japan, what happened in Japan, the peak was so high and the fall was too deep. And after the fall in 1990, Japan wasn't able to bounce back up to its original place. So this period in Japanese history is called the lost decade. But seeing how Japan is doing right now, right? People are still calling this the lost decades since they haven't been able to reclaim their old glory. Now, so what does this mean, right? Why am I talking about Japan? I am Korean and I'm a guy living in Korea, right? So what does that mean? And if you shift your focus to what is happening in Korea right now, this is the exact same pattern we're seeing, right? It's the exact same pattern that we're going through. If you think about it, since the year of 2000, Korean economy has grown significantly, right? And right now, in the year of 2026, Korea is considered to be one of the most prestigious countries. You know, expectations are so high because of AI demands. Housing prices are surging through the roof. Korean culture is booming around the world, so it is all widespread, right? But there's this small feeling in the back of my head that this will all just disappear so suddenly, like a mirage. And I don't know why, but I just have that feeling. And just like Japan in 1990, right? Korea will meet a similar fate. And I don't know, I'm not trying to be a doomer. I'm not trying to, have a negative outlook on the future of Korea, but I don't know. I don't know why I got that feeling. But, who am I to predict the future, right? So don't take that too seriously because I'm just a clueless guy who knows nothing about the economy. But I just wanted to get it out there of how I feel about the current times. So I guess, if any of you guys want to or decide to come to Korea to start a new life or something, make sure you do some research and make sure you know where Korea is in the current times and where Korea is headed. All right, guys, thank you for listening.